Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Radiant Tale continuing Vishalia's after story, and just hit into chapter 2. So, several days had passed since Leave asked us to come and meet her. Vishalia, Vita, and I boarded an official carriage and left the capital. It took us a few days to get to Oriens. Once we arrived at the city on water, we were embraced by its unchanged beauty. Oh, how I miss the delicious feel of the Orien's air! Seeing all this clean water is a real mood booster. All my fatigue has disappeared. Vita couldn't contain her excitement the moment we disembarked from the carriage. She looked like an ordinary human girl. She's picked up a lot of human mannerisms. I wonder if Ion and Alester are already at our meeting place. Ah! Listen, they already told me Alester's contracted with spirits. I don't know if we knew that and I forgot from there's a lot of stuff I forgot from the first game, but like every single time Alester just gets fucking better and better. Okay? So all I'm saying, I'm just very excited that he's here now. I imagine so. They should have reached Oriens before us. I smiled as I took in the cityscape for the first time in a while. Oriens was a city beloved by the water spirits. Leave, its founder, had the most affection toward humans of all the spirits. Because of her concern for the city's future, Leave's consciousness resided in the lacrima earrings in the underwater park, even now. She was our savior. We could never thank her enough for all she'd done for us. Listen, all I'm saying is she better not be like, get on board, make it... Why is Pashalia's hair blue all of a sudden? Wait, what? Excuse me? What? Wait a minute. I'm pretty sure I should have noticed that a couple of, like, screens ago when he first popped up, but I'm just so used to blue-haired Pashalia that every time I see him blonde, it's kind of disconcerting, but now I'm just like, wait a minute. Is it because he's in Oriens? Like, that's... Did they forget? Is anyone gonna mention this? Are we gonna talk about this? Yeah, anyway, I was gonna say, Leaf better not be like, I need you to make baby. Don't do that! I will take up to weddings, but I hate it when games force babies on me. I've seen a lot of people commenting that they like things like that. Not here, but like, oh my god, it'd be so cute. I want to see like the families. No, I fucking hate that. Listen, you can imagine it, okay? But for some of us, that is like, no, go fuck yourself. I hate that. Don't force children on me. I don't like children. I don't like want that to be forced on me. That'd be like hating marriage and romance and playing an Otome game. I realized that seems weird because I started playing these and I was like, bitter and whatever. I just hate rom-coms, okay? They have stupid fucking formulas and the Hallmark ones at Christmas still make me mad. They're just so dumb. But you know what I mean? Like, but a movie is different than these games. These games are fucking amazing and they have fantasy settings and like whatever. I don't mind that. And I don't mind romance in my books when I read them, you know? But like, I'm not reading these for forcing me to have kids. I don't like children. I don't do it. So like, no. You know? Anyway. She better not say that shit. So, it feels like we haven't seen Ion or Aleste in ages. I know. For us, it's been 2 days. They haven't stopped by the store in a while either. I can't wait to see them. And Pashali is excited to see Aleste. Same. I hope they've been well. Though they might be shocked seeing you in this getup. Yeah, okay, are we going to talk about it? Vishalia's ocean blue hair fluttered in the sea breeze. Yeah, and do you see what I'm saying? Like the little how at the end of his hair. I love it. I just do. The shimmer in his eyes shifted like ripples on the surface of a spring, and his eyes are back to being blue. I couldn't help but stare. He looked exactly the same as when I first met him. I've got to explain it to them before they think I've synchronized with Vita again. They might be worried. Honestly, though, I'm not the only one who looks different now. You look so adorable in that outfit. It really pops. Oh, I just felt like I had to wear it. I glanced down at my brand new dress, then buried my face in the shawl. Right then, something caught Vita's eye. Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to explain it. Explain it? Yeah, but could you explain it to us? Oh, hey! Look at that! She pointed to a poster, and the contents of it struck me speechless. New interpretation of the love miracle. The call from underwater. Stunning star-studded performance featuring a horror spin on the famous love miracle. That's why she's calling us here. She's like, someone is bastardizing your romance. Horror? Did we read that right? I guess you two are still celebrities around here, huh? This was precisely why we changed our appearance. We'd risked our lives to take on the trial given to us by the great spirit of water. Orion's citizens watched the event unfold through a magical water curtain. Yeah, Pashalia's hair was blue then, though, so you think they would recognize the blue-haired Pashalia. Unaware of our audience, Pashalia and I had shared a passionate kiss. All that had made us quite famous by the time our trial was over. I wish that event would be erased from everyone's memories. And that would be difficult, wouldn't it? How can anyone forget someone as beautiful as you? But isn't it about time for the gossip to calm down already? I'd be like, really, me? Me? I'm pretty, but Jesus, have you seen yourself, sir? Either way, blue hair, blonde hair, doesn't fucking matter. Just give up. You know how much humans love gossip. It won't go away for a while. Ugh. Nothing to worry about. With my magical disguise, you won't be found out that easily. Dear, we can just run away to the sea again. But again, they saw Pashalia with his blue hair diving into the ocean. Didn't, Leave's blessing and whatever, isn't that what made him blonde? It, turned him back to what he was before he contracted with Vita, so, not contracted, but synchronized with her. So, they would recognize this? I feel okay, whatever, sure. Easy for them to say that. Pashalia just stands out even more with his blue hair. Hardly anyone had hair that color. One might even mistake him for the human incarnation of a spirit. Let's try to keep a low profile and avoid causing a scene. These two were hopeless, so I had to pull myself together. Motivated by a sense of duty, I clenched my fists. Vita, meanwhile, tilted her head. What you doing? Gonna sit on my lap? Okay, that's fine, but don't you try clicking buttons. There's no buttons for you. Don't you look at the remote. No clicking buttons. You can't click the... Okay, that's what I thought. I know. Yeah, your toenails can't quite grip onto the shirt, can it? He's a good boy. Anyway. Motivated by a sense of duty, I clenched my fists. Vita, meanwhile, tilted her head. By the way, when are you guys gonna see Lady Leave? Later this afternoon, we'll join up with Ion and Aleste half an hour beforehand. I guess we have some free time till then. I turned my gaze on Pashalia, silently asking what we should do to kill time. He closed his eyes in contemplation for a few moments. Shall we walk around Orion's until our meet-up time? He's like, I know a hotel. Aren't there a bunch of shops you wanted to check out, Spacey? There are, yeah. I never said that out loud, did I? How did he guess? Was he reading my mind? Seeing my confusion, Pashalia mentioned that he'd watched me pore over a travel guide on our way here. I hadn't even noticed him staring. How embarrassing. How about we get on a tour boat and stop by as many shops as we can? Great idea! I'm in! Our chatter picked up as we boarded the ferry. Dear visitors, the ferry will set off soon. Watch your footing since it tends to rock. The ferryman gave a great heave of the oars, creating quite a splash. Since Orion's mostly consisted of canals, boats were the primary means of transportation. Furthermore, the streets were packed even though it was a weekday. Orion's is still bustling, huh? Some things never change. It's got a whole different feel than Earth here. There are more water spirits, too. Is that so? Oh, I think Vilio mentioned something about that once. If I remembered correctly, it was right after Leave asked us to show her true love. We split into groups and explored Orion's to investigate their customs around love. You know what? Ever since we held our show, the number of water spirits has gone up. people of Oriens had forgotten their gratitude for the water spirits. Our show helped change their minds, and things took a turn for the better. Really, I was so impressed back then. Slowly dying because she's fire element, but I'm not sure if there are more of them or they've just begun to come out of hiding. Either way, they look like they're having so much fun. With a gentle smile, Pashalia gestured toward the waterway. I'm just glad our hard work paid off. Same here. I can't believe the things we did have had such a ripple effect on the future. I'm so happy to know that what we're seeing now is the result of the time we all spent together. The ferry sailed along as we enjoyed our chat. The electrific? Huh. The electrific pie was so delicious. It is electrific, yeah. Electrific pie. An original dessert from Oriens made with electro grass. The recipe is a unique take on a sweet fruit pie. Electro grass is kneaded into the dough, giving every bite a light buzz on the tongue that perfectly melds with the refreshing lemon cream. A masterpiece that'll always leave you craving seconds. It literally sounds like a pie with Pop Rocks in it. I'm here for that. After a delicious meal at Arrosoir, whatever, an establishment we'd had our eyes on, we headed out to the main street. Word I can't pronounce. A renowned cafeteria in Oriens. A top-class patissier working here once traveled to all the major five to polish their skills, and their special seasonal cake is especially popular. It really was. Sweet, but still refreshing and easy to eat. I was so surprised when the pie crust started crackling in my mouth. Me too. How did they do that, Pop Rocks? And there's a plant that grows in the shallows around here called electrograss. Electrograss, a plant that grows en masse in the shallows surrounding Oriens. If touched, it produces a little zap akin to static electricity. Though edible, it requires thorough preparation before it's safe to consume. It grows in the water. I feel like that was not thought out well. And I don't mean by nature, I mean by the writers. They were like, yeah, it's electrified grass. I mean, there are electric eels, I guess. So I feel like it's a similar concept to however the fuck those fuckers, like, exist. Whatever they are. You know, but it is just weird that it's like electric. It's like electricity in the water. That doesn't seem safe. That seems questionable and concerning, but sure. And he must have used it in the dough to make the crackle pop effect. Yeah, literally Pop Rocks. So I'm just going to pretend it's Pop Rocks grass. Humans sure are mysterious. Where in the world did they get the idea to eat something like that? You know, people are... Mysterious is the word, Vita, sure. There are a lot of ingredients out there that look flat out inedible. Those are the ones that wind up tasting the best. I don't know if you should say things like that. You have a point there, though. I would say the balanced taste is what made the pie so good. Electrograss might be pretty strong, but it didn't overwhelm the other ingredients, and that's what made it the perfect dessert. Agreed. Now that I think about it, Spiria told me the flavors of my test batches clashed. Maybe this is a hint on how to solve it. Electrify people? I think they have a... or did have a Hershey bar that had Pop Rocks in it. Like a temporary kind of thing. Seasonal thing. White chocolate, I think? I don't know. But anyway. But 100 fucking years ago, they were pretty big size, like chocolate eggs that my sister found that had Pop Rocks in them. But it wasn't like just a sparse amount. They had a lot in there and it was fucking amazing. So but the they were pretty big. So I wouldn't say like the size of a Cadbury egg. You know, those are a little bit smaller than that. But still pretty like hefty size where you're like, that's a big piece of chocolate. So like, I remember her giving me a couple. And like, so you crack them up in a bag and then you're like, okay, here's a chunk of a piece of chocolate and you eat it and like pops in your mouth. And it was like fucking amazing. It was so cool. Right? And I'm still like fucking triggered to this day because this was, oh dear God, why is everything like 20 fucking years ago? I swear to God, it was like 20 fucking years ago. I can't remember yesterday, but I can remember. Anyway, so I had like my Easter basket with candy in it from my parents, whatever. And my friend was over and was like, oh, can I have some candy? Yeah, you can take whatever. Okay, let me ask you something. If you're gonna go grab candy from your friend's like, yeah, no, help yourself, right? Yeah, yeah. Or can I grab some candy? Yeah, grab some candy. Are you gonna take, like, when you go in there, if you're like, oh look, there is one of this specific item left, let me take that. Are you gonna do that? You're like, no. You're like, oh, okay, cool. They got like a handful of M&Ms. You take like, oh, you got like 5 Reese's peanut butter cups. I'll take one of those. You don't take the one last item. That's just like common fucking sense. I'm looking in your Easter basket. I see this special fucking little egg. There was one in there. It's a pretty big fucking egg. It's wrapped. It's specially wrapped. It's sitting there. She ate the whole motherfucking thing. Bitch ate the whole motherfucking thing. I totally forgot about it until I was watching another video where people were like, and that Hershey bar came up, and I was like, triggered again. I was like, my fucking Pop Rocks egg! It's been like 2 days. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so this just, like, really? Really? Why we gotta keep reminding me of this? Like, and I was like, why would you do, oh, you said I gotta get him. Like, what kind of a fucking asshole are you? That if there's a bunch of different types of candy and there's like multiples of other things, like I've got a desk full of candy and there's 5 bags of this, 4 bags, like, tons of things, and there's one special thing, would you just eat that one thing? Like that one individual thing. Fuck you! What the hell? What the fuck? Why would you do that? What kind of an asshole are, especially because it's not like she hadn't had it before, she knew what it was. Because I had one broken up in the bag. Oh my god, try it, whatever, yeah. Like, you knew it was special. You're just a douche. Turns out she was a fucking douche. There's a huge story behind that. Like, just a raging fucking douche. But still, that was a red flag right there. What the fuck? Still mad because they never made those Pop Rocks eggs again. So the fact that there's a Hershey bar out there that like, but it's like white chocolate, like what the fuck? That's just wrong. And like, I don't even like milk chocolate. Like, I want dark chocolate, but like, they need to make more dark chocolate Pop Rocks. I'm just saying. I'm sure there's other candy out there that has that. So if somebody knows, tell me. Because like, every once in a while, I think of that Pop Rocks eggs, and I'm like, man, a little chocolate egg with the Pop Rocks, and it was so cool. It's like awesome. Nobody died from eating Pop Rocks and drinking soda? Bunch of bullshit. Can we have them back? Like, I don't remember having Pop Rocks as a kid. I just remember that Eggman. Anyway, maybe this is a hint on how to solve it. Yeah, Pop Rocks. I couldn't reduce the amount of an ingredient just because it tasted strong. Why include it at all then? I had to figure out how to meld the components while maintaining a cohesive flavor. I love the fact that this is on your mind. Kind of like circus. Circus was a group of people with different personalities, whether they be a dragon or a magician. The excitement I felt when we joined hands on stage was immeasurable. Perhaps the dessert I sought to make was something akin to circus. You just needed to add a little bit of salt. That's what you're missing. Oh, what's so funny, Spacey? Oops, sorry, I was just thinking about something. I mean, duh. About the dessert you were working on? Yep, it's not like I found the answer yet, though. I get the feeling that the dessert I'm trying to make is a lot like circus. It's like a bunch of fucking garbage and a salty clown. I'm sorry, I loved all of our characters, but it was a hot mess. But for a split second, Pashalia and Vita stared at me wide-eyed. Then they burst out laughing, evidently in agreement. What are you talking about? Is he gonna be super duper rich or what? It'll be delicious for sure. Who wouldn't enjoy an assortment of flavors in one dish? Don't forget the salt. Lots and lots of salt. It's gonna have a unique taste. One of a kind, even. I hope so. I can't wait to give it a try once it's done. Of course. I'll let you be the first one to taste it, Pashalia. Our conversation flowed smoothly from there. Ringing bells echoed out over the canal, enriching the air with their merry resonance. Oh! Someone's exchanging the leave vows! The three of us stomped in our tracks and faced the waterway. There we saw 2 gorgeously decorated ferries that stood out even from a distance. The bride was on one, the groom on another. They joined together when their boats pulled up side by side. Pillars of water surged upward around them, accompanied by splashes, much like aquatic applause. We found ourselves clapping as we watched the fairies pull away. It reminds me of your wedding. Yeah, me too. How nostalgic. We're the old married couple now. That's adorable. I still recalled how the wedding gown flowed around my body like a white blossom floating atop a clear blue sea. I was even allowed to wear the lacrima earrings for the ceremony. Nothing could beat that moment. It was a once-in-a-lifetime celebration. My heart warmed when I recalled the cheers and applause of our loved ones. It reminded me of our circus days, albeit a bit different. I'd been kept in the dark about the ceremony till the very last minute. Halfway through the event, I could hear people's voices through the loudspeaker. It was chaotic, to say the least. Despite the hecticness of it all, it was a fun and lively affair only we could have pulled off. I want to do it again. Do what? Startled, I whirled to face my husband. You mean the leave vows? Yeah. Watching their ceremony has me itching to see you in a wedding dress again, Spacey. That is not... Okay, listen. That's a weird kink, Pashalia. We need to talk about that. Your original dress was adorable, but I'd like to see you in something different. Oh yeah, no, he's got a bride kink. He's over there like, you know what, I'm getting the itch to see you in a dress. A different one this time. You know what, we're gonna go broke with the amount of wedding dresses you're gonna make me buy. This guy, did you forget all the struggles we endured to hold that ceremony? We had such a hard time preparing for the event while keeping it a secret from her. Honestly, I was so surprised. I didn't see it coming. Like, shh, what am I doing? Why are you putting me in? Well, no, what am I getting married? What are we doing? Like, I feel like it's one thing, like, shh, he wants to do everything and just put on your wedding. Okay. Like, I hope she knew she was getting married. But it's starting to make it sound like, because again, I don't remember, but it's making it sound like the whole thing was a surprise. And all of a sudden, they were like, put on this, close your eyes. I was blindfolded. I had no idea I was in a wedding dress. And then I got married against my will. That's kind of what it's given. A little cagey right here. You know? Literally and metaphorically. If we're gonna do it again, I want to be involved this time. Are humans even allowed to hold multiple wedding ceremonies anyway? Yes, vow renewals. Why not? It may be unusual, but there's no law against it. Leaving Vita dumbfounded with that remark, Pashalia shifted his gaze to me. Are we going to get married again? Is the game like, well, all of the other routes are going to have a wedding, but you already had one with Pashalia, so we're just going to do another one? Because, like, that's a little weird. I mean, I guess it's like a vow renewal. Sure, but it's only been a year. I want to do these things over and over again as long as I'm with you. Both the wedding and the vows. Same here. You guys are both weirdos. You match each other's freak. It's perfect. Although it would probably be too expensive and time-consuming to do so often. Oh, that's a shame. Why the long fees? You two are going to be together forever, aren't you? You'll have the chance to make your dream come true one day. You're right. Pashalia and I shared a smile as the blue spirit glanced over to the bride and groom's fairies. Hey, look! They're exchanging their wedding vows now! In the name of the Great Spirit, Leave, I vow to love you until my last breath. I likewise promise to love you until death do us part. The newlyweds shared a tight embrace between the two boats festooned with flowers. Kind of hard, props to them. They're hugging each other across boats. Seawater sprayed forth like a geyser, then formed an arch overhead. Colorful flowers danced through the air, falling one by one. So pretty. Apparently, spirits had crafted the beautiful arrangement of their own accord. Though surprised, the bride and groom smiled at the sparkling surface of the water. Thank you for livening up this ceremony, dear spirits. Please take these as our thanks. The bride threw several tiny candies and flowers into the air. The candies and flowers stopped midair, then bounced up and down. Then they plunged into the water and disappeared. Were those spirits just now? Yep, they wanted to thank the newlyweds for the candies and flowers. And not that I need to explain it, I guess. The guests likewise tossed flowers to the spirits, who caught them and zipped away. Pashalia wore a tender smile, gazing out at the scene. That's kind of sweet and adorable, and the guests are throwing flowers to them. Aw, sweet. And this is also proof that the city is changing. True, there's a shrine to it. Oh, there's a shine to it now that wasn't here on our first visit. Yeah, and trash isn't just floating around. Some aspects of the city had a ways to go, to be sure, but Orient's had definitely changed for the better. We allowed ourselves to indulge in the scenery a bit longer. After that, we walked around town some more before heading to our meeting place. Ah, there's my boyfriend. And your boyfriend if you're in love with Ion. There's your boyfriend, and there's my boyfriend. Looks like you made it. Two familiar faces greeted us outside a shop. I love Celeste so much. Long time no see, Celeste, and glad to see you're well, Ion. Thank you. As much as I want to say the same. What has caused your change in appearance, Pashalia? You mean my hair? This is just Vita's magical disguise. I'm as healthy as a horse. The love miracle is so popular, I've got to do this or else I won't have room to breathe. Love miracle. After witnessing the trial given to our heroine in Pashalia, Orient's citizens embellished the story with many romantic and dramatic touches before spreading it like wildfire. Many have created their own adaptation of the tale into a variety of genres like action or horror, tailoring it to all kinds of target audiences. The trend is yet to die down. The horror one makes it funny. Like the action one, you can see like, oh, action and adventure, and then there's romance at the end. But like the horror part is really confusing, and I really want to see that rendition. Let me see. Emotion flitted across Ion's face, and I couldn't help but smile. I love how he makes it so obvious that he's such a nice guy. If he were Vilio or Zephora, they would have immediately commented on how much Pashalia stood out despite his disguise. Vilio would have been like, I don't know, I mean, I'm pretty sure the blue hair stands out a lot, and Zephora would have been like, are you an idiot? Come on, we know them well enough. Sending Ion my silent thanks, I moved the conversation along. Thank you for setting up this meeting with Lee, Valest. And thanks for coming, even though you're so busy, Ion. No need to thank me. I just happen to be nearby as I have business with the security forces. Besides, this is the prince's direct order. It's no trouble at all. He's like, I'll do anything for the prince! Alas, simmer down, girl. Or rather, every single thing His Highness tells me to do brings me the utmost joy. Okay, all right. I I did not have to pretend he was fangirling out because he was going to do it for us. Okay. Lest has clearly been doing well. I'm glad. I mean, the man's crazy, but I love him. And now, it's been quite some time since I've seen you all. And since you know Prince Calivus as well as I do, how about we spend half a day gushing about his greatness? Alest fangirls over the prince almost as much as I fangirl over Alest. That's saying something. Say what? I tensed up, bracing myself for the worst. To my surprise, his next words came in a rather remorseful tone. As much as I'd like to, I shall restrain myself this time around. We have the entire park reserved for your meeting with leave to avoid making a commotion. Our time here is limited, unfortunately. Phew, that was a close one. Well, it's not like we can do anything about it. Such a shame, though. Fucking Vita. I know, right? I knew you'd feel the same. It was careless of us. The moment he heard Vita's response, his eyes lit up behind those glasses. I love the fact that there's literally like a little sparkle, and his glasses fog up. Shall we organize another meeting to talk about His Highness later on? I wouldn't want to disappoint you. I don't know about that. Aless' personality was a comforting constant in this world. For now, though, I made it a point to avoid eye contact with him and focus on our upcoming meeting with Leave. This is where like a Calivus ending with him all grown up would have been fucking amazing because Alest would have followed you around. And like Ginia being like, so Bashalia, you guys make out. Come on, give me details. He would have been like, you better not touch my prince inappropriately. Like a fucking Alest would have been like mother hen, and it would have been the weirdest fucking thing. It would have been goddamn amazing. It would have been glorious. You can imagine it. And I'm just sad that they didn't go that deep. But at least Olivus and Aless kind of got endings, even if we didn't get full or even half routes. You know what I'm saying? But still, goddamn. Oh, but I love it. Oh, I love our little Prince fangirl. Whoa. Once we entered the water, a murmur of admiration escaped my lips. As Orion's largest tourist attraction, the underwater park was always packed. Today, the place was completely empty, save for the five of us. I can't believe how spacious it feels now that we have it all to ourselves. I took this rare opportunity to absorb every detail. Standing tall at the center of the park was the heart-shaped arch Pashalia and I once passed through. At the top were the lacrima earrings, kept safe inside a magic sphere of water. The place usually has a hip and trendy atmosphere with all the crowds. With no one around, I feel like I've come to some sacred ground to meet royalty. So solemn and serene. I took It took my breath away. Soon enough, Alessa's voice reverberated through the park. "Oh, leave the great spirit of water. I've brought them with me today. May we have the privilege of an audience with you?" The lacrima earring shone brightly in response to his call. The water rippled out in waves, revealing a beautiful, transparent woman. I still love the fact that she's got a whale in a teeny tiny baby whale in a bubble. He's the size of the blue goldfish. It's so funny. "A long time no see, Pashalia, Specie, and you too, Vita." I don't remember her voice, but whatever. "I was a little worried since human children tend to change over time. I'm relieved to see I was worried for nothing." Leave, the great spirit of water, had arrived. I mean, like, seriously, like, I want our character to be half as pretty as she is. Like, we're always adorable, like, adorable pretty. We always range in that, but this woman is gorgeous. Like, goddamn. I want to be half as gorgeous as this. Jesus. I'd settle for being 1/18th as gorgeous as she is. Holy hell. She was now merely a consciousness residing in the earrings with only a fraction of her original power. But still hot. Despite that, she was still full of grace and grandeur. My back straightened reflexively in her presence. "I'm so glad to see you in good health." "It's been a while, Lady Leave."
Hello. And by the way, did something happen? You seem to be in a good mood.
"Goodness, you really know me so well, Pashalia." Her laugh bubbled out, clear and beautiful, as she held up a hand. "Take a look at this." The bustling scenery of Orion's was projected on the water. Upon it we saw the wonderful leave vows ceremony we witnessed earlier. There was also families walking hand in hand as well as couples enjoying conversations. This is a problem? There's usually a problem. Leave donned an almost maternal gaze, admiring the view. "Humans snuggle up to each other, talking about love as the spirits watch over them. Their hearts have come together to weave one beautiful tapestry. My darling Oriens, city of love and art. Oriens has reclaimed its reputation as a city that honors love, something Arthur once wished for." Right, and you didn't give me an Arthur ending, is all I'm saying. Like, could have gone back in time. You could have, like, that man was fine. "Watching over the city gives me comfort. I can feel the love overflowing from each and every corner." Leave tenderly caressed the aquatic projection of her city. Then she returned her gaze to us. "Your group, Circus, is the one that started it all. Even a single drop of water can make a great ripple in the sea. Your performance was that drop. It moved so many people." Bird has just decided he wants to sit on my, like, knees because I have them up, but he just decided to climb down my chest and across my fucking, like, Switch thing. Like, the controller is, like, I've just got it sitting in one hand, but it's resting in my lap, and he's just, like, climbed across it. I don't know why it was funny. I was half expecting him to accidentally click a button. Sorry, anyway. Your performance was that drop. It moved so many people. We'll try to read that without laughing. You two showed us what true love is and reminded humans of the spirit's existence. In the end, many people remembered the value of love. Allow me to express my gratitude once more." What you freaking out about? He's okay. It's me honor. No, it's all right. We didn't do anything special. I felt honored and humbled to receive such words of appreciation from a great spirit. Leave tilted her head at my flustered panic, looking thoughtful. "I believe I've gone on long enough. Shall we move to the most important matter?" Oh, now she looks mad. Or, like, now comes the problem. I wish to officially entrust the lacrima earrings to you, Pashalia. Pardon? You want to give Pashalia the core item? Our eyes went wide as saucers. We certainly hadn't anticipated this. Does this mean we have to move here? Are you saying you want him to be a leader of Orions, like Kultura's Labyrinth Sentinel? Oh, we're moving here! Labyrinth Sentinel? Oh, you mean the human who received Libra's blessing? It's certainly similar to that, but I have no intention of making you govern the city.
So, what do you want me to do?
Take care of the earrings. Keep them safe. I would like you to help create a better future for both humans and spirits. Celeste and Ion must have already known what she wanted. Neither of them looked surprised. I've already talked this out with the current and future kings, of course. I'm assuming by future kings you mean Calivus, but also it's like, I went into the future and saw his son and his son's son, and they're like, girl, I'm trouble? King Begonia and Prince Calivus, you mean? Correct. I asked them to refrain from speaking a word about this because I wanted to tell you myself. Celeste took that as his cue to chime in. The lacrima earrings are usually kept here in this park to protect Orions. Whenever Prince Calivus wants to use the core item, he has to go and obtain permission from Lady Leave. It's a bit inconvenient to travel here each time, especially when there's an emergency. Hence, the government thinks it's a good idea to entrust the lacrima earrings with you. Gotcha! All we need now is Pashalia's verdict, then. See, this is on now. This is the, I want to do something because I want to do it, not because somebody asked me to. But this is something very important you could do, but somebody asked you to do it. For a beat, silence reigned. Why me? Pashalia sounded quite calm as he voiced his thoughts. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for your acknowledgement. But the lacrima earrings are valuable items that have been supporting Orions all this time. I'm afraid I'm not worthy enough to be entrusted with such things. His voice betrayed his lack of confidence. Leave slowly shook her head. I've been contemplating this ever since you two showed me true love. And not to mention all the stories I've heard from the spirits in the royal capital. They're all elated that they can communicate with humans thanks to you. In you, I see a future where humans and spirits exist in harmony. I believe you could be the perfect bridge between the two. Letting out a sigh, Pashalia slowly lowered his gaze. Once he'd made up his mind, he stared straight at Leave. Sorry, but I can't accept your offer. Huh? But why, Pashalia? May I ask the reason? I'm beyond honored to have a great spirit like you bestow such important items upon me. And it's my dream to become a bridge between humans and spirits. And then all the more reason. But I'm afraid I don't have the right to take on that duty as I am now. Care of the lacrima earrings and helping two different species communicate are no easy tasks. I'm painfully aware that I'm not yet up to your standards. Not yet, you say? Leave's murmur was quiet and calm. There was no trace of anger or disappointment in her tone. Fine. I shall respect your decision. Are you sure, my lady? I don't want to force him. However, I will welcome you with open arms if you ever change your mind. Leave gazed gently upon Pashalia as a mother would her child. Yeah, she's like, go find your confidence, boy. That's going to be like the crux of the thing, and then he's going to do it at the end. Right. You. Leave donned a satisfied expression. Perhaps she'd expected this answer. She then turned to address Aleste and Ion. Please inform the current king I have no intention of granting the lacrima earrings to anyone but Pashalia. Understood. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have made a snap judgment when it concerns the whole country. The other men simply chuckled at his panicked apology. No need for that. I anticipated about a 50-50 chance of you accepting the offer. Besides, Prince Callivis said your feelings are what matter most, and there is no point in trusting the core item unless the person in question is ready for it, or so he said. So Callivis feels the same. That's why he's going to make a great goddamn king, and he's literally the smartest out of everyone. Still, I think highly of you. I believe you're the right person to take on this task. Do give it some more thought. It's not as if Leave has other candidates to consider. I will. Thanks. I suppose that will be all for me today. Leave smiled, dissolving some of the tension. I'm glad I could see you all face to face, and it's been so long. Human life is fleeting. Do come and visit me here from time to time. I'm glad we were able to meet again, too. Leave's smile widened. Her body shimmered, swaying from side to side. She slowly dissolved away into the water. Just before she disappeared, the Great Spirit spoke one last time. Oh, right, I almost forgot. Things have been quite noisy in Ruth. Huh? In Ruth? What kind of... Shelley and Vita hurried to ask, but it was too late. Leave had vanished as quickly as she came. She's like, oh, by the way, bad news! And then pieces out. The meeting done, we return to the pier. That's going to be the cry. He's going to go. We're going to have to go back to his hometown, deal with some shit, and then he's going to come back and take the core item. Okay. A surge of tourists poured into the underwater park now that it had reopened to the public. I can read. I wonder what Lady Leave meant when she said things have been noisy in Ruth. Did something happen over there? Celeste, Ion, do you two know anything about it? I had visited Ruth, Pashalia's hometown, twice. The first time was with Circus, and the second was for our wedding. It was a peaceful village full of kind people. The word noisy didn't fit the place at all. Both his parents and the villagers really welcomed me into their community. If something had happened there, I couldn't just ignore it. The others were deep in thought, their eyes fixed on me as I tried to rein in my emotions. Well, I do not know if this is what Leave was referring to, and there was a landslide in that region the other day. It should not have been a catastrophe, as the security forces immediately dispatched reinforcements to the area. Furthermore, it occurred some distance from the village. It wasn't all that major, so I heard it had little effect on the villagers. Heard about the people who live nearby, though, right? You only heard that about the people who live... Okay. I see. Something dawned on Aleste at that. You're saying the landslide might have affected the spirits, correct? Exactly. It's just a hunch, though. The spirits usually stay in places with no people around. Knows something might have happened to them. I'd like to make a trip to Ruth and confirm it for myself. Me too, but... He cast a quick glance at me. Getting the message, I nodded without hesitation. I'll write to Radiant Spiria. I can let them know we'll be returning home late since we've got something to do in Ruth. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure they won't mind. Besides, this is my problem too. I can't let anything happen to my beloved husband's hometown. You insist. Thanks again, Spacey. Though I doubt Leave would be so vague about it if it were a pressing matter. So it's probably not that big of a deal. Exactly. And she wouldn't have mentioned it to us if it was something we couldn't handle. Maybe Leave is just that thoughtful, you know? Maybe it was wishful thinking on their part. Nevertheless, I felt encouraged by their words. I nodded firmly. If it's urgent, you can give your message to me. I shall relay it along with my report to the castle. Also, I shall have the security forces escort you to Ruth. Are you sure about that? We already have plans to check in with our reinforcements at the landslide area. We set out in the morning, so unfortunately you won't have time to enjoy Orion's. That's totally fine. Thank you. I'll hurry and pack my things. We haven't even unpacked. We bid our goodbyes and left the pier. I truly hope nothing serious was happening in Ruth. Being so weird, Bird. It was nightfall by the time we were done packing. Again, we just got here. Do we have time to unpack? We didn't have much time to spare. That meant I had to squash my plans to visit a shop I'd had my eyes on, which was a shame. As for my letter to Speria, I'd already handed it over to the security forces.
I don't think the place you wanted to go is still open. It's too bad since we just finished getting everything ready.
It's just bad luck. We can always go next time. How about we head back to our lodgings and get some rest, you say? Come on, the night's still young. Don't be such a square. I'm gonna go play with the spirit, so why don't you two kick back and relax? Huh? No need to worry about me. I'll return to the inn before it gets too late. She's like, go bang each other. Jesus Christ, Vita's like, go get some. Vita then vanished into the canal. Did she do that out of consideration for us?
Yeah. Honestly, she's right. Be a waste to go back to the inn.
I don't know about that. I think there's some fun things we could do at the inn, and I'm surprised you're not saying that, but okay.
This is our honeymoon. I want to go on a date with you, Spacey. And just the two of us. How about it?
Now that he mentioned it, I remembered that this was supposed to be our honeymoon. Oh no, I'm getting all shy again. Right. I guess we can spare some time for that. Again, it's been a year, so don't be. I feel shy. Hate that.
Great. Is there anywhere you'd like to go?
I want to visit the underwater park one more time. The underwater park had a different feel at night, a magic of its own. Our minds made up, Pashali and I walked side by side to our destination. At least they don't harp on it. It's like, I'm getting shy again. Oh, I mean, and then they go and they move on. But it's like, they just don't need to bring it up at all. It seems weird. No one's surprised. The underwater park was chock full of tourists when we got there. Most of them were couples, too. People have invented all kinds of different love superstitions about this place. Love superstitions, a selection of superstitions about love dedicated to various spots in the underwater park. The most famous one states that if a couple walks under the heart-shaped arch where the lacrima earrings are on display, their relationship will last forever. Well, that's sad for those when Pashalia takes the earrings and they can't walk under them anymore. During our previous visit, the two of us had passed through the heart-shaped arch. The arch had an associated superstition of its own. What was it again? Couples who pass through the arch will be together forever. Why did we have to have a glossary term for that if she was just going to tell us? Funnily enough, that one came true for us. I remembered feeling awkward back then since we weren't in a relationship. And now I can proudly say he's the person I love and cherish most in this world.
This feels a bit uncanny.
Why's that?
The last time we came here, we were just friends. I was so nervous because we were surrounded by couples.
Wait, you were nervous? You looked so calm. I never noticed.
I was trying so hard to hide it, you know? It was my first time going out with a girl after all. And now I can stand here all puffed up with pride knowing we're married. It's unreal.
It's adorable. That was exactly how I felt. I met his gaze, finding it hard to stifle the giggle bubbling up within me. You know what? I was thinking the same thing.
Really? So nice.
Especially since you look the same as you did back then. Now that his locks had returned to their natural color, his blue-haired disguise had me feeling nostalgic. I stroked his hair, savoring the pleasantly cool sensation. This isn't my first time touching his hair, but it still feels surreal every time. I didn't know how to describe it. His hair was somewhat akin to the water here in the park. Soft and sleek, aquatic in nature, yet somehow dry. I'd met a number of contractors during our trip, but Pashalia was the only one who had this trait. He's a rarity, so I totally get why people flock to him.
That's not fair.
What isn't? Pashalia's meaningful stare tugged me out of my reverie.
It's not fair that you're the only one who gets to revel in the memories. I want to touch you just like I did then.
Say what?
Hey, can I? Just a little bit.
I was gonna say, do we get a CG? Because, like, okay, good. Aww. I could see his little wedding ring on his hand. That's sweet. Pashalia alluringly whispered in my ear. He gently lifted away the shawl I was using to hide my face. Not stopping there, he removed the comb, keeping my hair in place. Sweetie, you can't undress me in the underwater park. Aww. How sweet. He pulled me close as his lips brushed my cheek. Oh. His soft yet passionate touch instantly had all sorts of emotions and memories welling up within me. I vividly recalled our first visit here together. Michelia didn't want someone to think he was hitting on their girlfriend. To avoid the misunderstanding, he gave me a kiss on the cheek and claimed I was his partner. And now he's doing it again. But that kiss had been just as warm and tender as this one. The heat rose to my cheeks. You're so sly, Pashalia. How could you kiss me the same way you did before in this very spot? It's not the same. He shook his head and brought his lips to my face a second time. Last time I only did it on an impulse since I wanted to steer clear of trouble. But this is a real kiss. It's filled with my desire. Aw, look at her blushing and smirking at him. It's cute. Kissed me again, this time sweeter and more passionately than before. I looked around in a fluster, trying to keep my wobbly legs from buckling. Well, they're going to realize it's us. All our efforts to stay hidden will mean nothing then. We'll be okay. Look, everyone else is wrapped up in their own little worlds, just like me and you. That's the nice thing about this park. She can't be like, oh my god, we're kissing in public. She's like, people are going to recognize us. He's like, they ain't paying attention. They all making out too. He has a point. It wasn't as though I didn't enjoy this, but it was really embarrassing. No matter how often we kissed, my heart fluttered every single time. Mishalia's kisses only nurtured my love, making it grow and grow. When I kissed you that day, I was convinced my heart was pounding simply because it was my first. Later when I realized it was because of you. He smiled, relishing the memory. And though I only did it to trick someone, no regrets. I don't understand. What do you mean? If I hadn't kissed you then, someone else might have stolen your first kiss. You didn't need to worry about that. Never wanted to kiss anyone but you. And so? 100%. I chuckled, thinking it was an obvious answer. Shalia studied me for a moment. Has Rady ever kissed you on the forehead or the cheek? There's no way he... Oh. Maybe once or twice when I was a kid? Not totally sure. Answering honestly proved to be a misstep. Uh-oh. Mishalia's crankiness turned up a notch. He wasn't even trying to hide it. Hey, I was super young back then. I mean, your family must have kissed you when you were a kid, right? It's no different. I backpedaled frantically, but to no avail. He was wholly unconvinced. There's no point in fretting about something that happened in your childhood. But still, have you seen Rady in his human form? He's gorgeous. I know, right? He mumbled like a grumpy child, pouting in dissatisfaction. I like how that came out of nowhere. Hey, has Rady ever fucking kissed your forehead? What? Yeah, I mean, maybe when I was a kid. Oh, never mind. He tugged me close, for more than a peck on the cheek this time. I'm not moaning for him, or me. His lips claimed mine in a kiss so amorous and intense that my body spun toward his. Wrapping his arms around me, he pressed his lips harder against mine, devouring me with a heady blend of affection and jealousy. You know, I'm okay with this. These are mine and mine alone. We'll never, ever surrender them to anyone else. What are you doing? We're in public! Have you already forgotten? And the others are basically doing the same thing. There is no need to worry. Did he realize I had no time to look around with all that smooching? Or are you saying, hate kissing me? Sir! Don't even! Don't try to guilt trip me like this. That's playing dirty. I can't push him away when he says stuff like that. Yeah. Although he already knew the answer, I forced a reply through my tingling lips. How could I hate kissing the person I love? Yes, it's embarrassing. It makes me very happy. I don't mind her being embarrassed in this. Like, oh my god, you're like literally shoving your tongue down my throat in public. And he's like, everyone else is doing it. I was like, maybe public displays of affection aren't your thing. That I don't mind her being embarrassed about. But it's the like, oh my god, every time he kisses me, I get embarrassed. Okay, stop. I had to hear that. Shalia smiled in relief. What a cunning man he was. I know, right? He knew. He knew what he was doing. He looked just like the cat that got the cream. His proud yet joyful expression disarmed me. That's a funny statement considering the fact he licked the cream off your finger earlier. I couldn't possibly win against that look. I must have fallen for you after that first kiss. Sure of it. And back then I never imagined I'd be the man standing by your side. Yet now we're so very close. Seriously? You are pressed against me. Not complaining. Just stating a fact. The light in his eyes flickered as he looked at me. Become a man deserving of your love, so you'll never leave me. Shalia, you have your own, but my love is unconditional. I feel like my love is unconditional is the right answer as opposed to, you have your own value. Although that's a good answer as well. But like, my love is unconditional. Like, I want to be worthy of you so you'll never leave me. You have your own value is absolutely true, but that has nothing to do with what he's saying. No, it's you have, I don't know how to win with Bashalia. I would be saying all the wrong things to him. I don't understand. I want to be worthy of you, so you love me and never leave me. My love is unconditional, you dumbass. Seems like the logical answer, not, you have your own value. I mean, I guess that's technically what he really does need to hear deep down. But it just does not seem like the right answer. But every answer for Pashalia that I could pick is fucking wrong. What are you doing? There's nothing to read on the tablet. I mean, you could try to read, but where you were sitting, it was white. You had to come over here. This is where the words are, but there's not a lot of them because it just says the answer to the choice. Did you want to try to scroll it up? You can scroll it up if you want. I won't give me it. You can scroll it. Just don't close the tab. Anyway, you have your own value. You know what, Pashalia? You have your own value, and that's all that matters to me. I'm not sure I understand. He looked back at me, confused, and I smiled. Worrying about whether you're a worthy enough man for me is just one of your many facets. I could flat out tell him that my love was unconditional and he didn't need to prove himself, but that wouldn't really help. The game is like, that wouldn't help! I mean, whatever, I don't know how to appease this man. This was an ideal that was important to him. He wouldn't change just because I told him it didn't matter to me. There's only one thing I can do. You've been kind to me ever since we met. You're so straightforward when it comes to showing affection, even though it gets me a little bashful. And you're always open with your feelings, whether you're having fun or struggling. You have both merits and flaws, but those are what make you, you. I wasn't concerned with how he'd interpret my words. I wanted to express myself honestly without dancing around it. I love everything about you, and that will never change. He let out a chuckle, breaking the tension. His charming smile told me he'd made peace with his anxieties, if just a little. You always tell me exactly what I want to hear when I need it most. And thank you for picking up on my insecurities and helping me get over them. I really appreciate that, Spacey. Honestly, I realized a long time ago that it's all in my head. A bitter smile twisted his lips and he sighed. Just being selfish like when I refused Leave's offer. But right now I don't feel like I have the right to become the bridge between humans and spirits. He gazed off into the distance. The lacrima earrings were in their usual spot in the middle of the park. They shone radiantly, beckoning him to take up the mantle. Glad this power I've been blessed with helps other people, but I don't think it's enough. I still have no idea what I can do or what I truly want to do. Oh, Pashalia. As hard as it might be, I want to find the answer myself. That's why I need some time before I can make a decision. Take you, for instance, Spacey. You know your limits and you do everything you can without overextending yourself. I want to be like you. I guess you could say I admire you. A peculiar sensation enveloped me in that moment. It wasn't the sort of feeling you'd get from hearing someone's confession, though. I felt restless, yet my heart overflowed with love. It endeared me to him all the more. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll find both of those things in due time. Remember, we never thought we'd find true love, but we did. You can uncover anything in this world as long as you try. You're like a ray of sunshine in my life. So are you. You always bring a smile to my face. I was literally thinking when he said, like, you're like a ray of sunshine. I'm like, you are literally like a beam of sunshine. So, like, that's funny. Glad she said that. You think so? Looking into each other's eyes, we shared a smile. This was our answer.
All right, shall we get going?
Shalia extended a hand to me. For a fleeting moment, I wondered when the day would come that our hands would find each other naturally, without an initiator. Treasuring this sliver of everyday joy, I took my beloved husband's proffered hand. And just like that, we continued our stroll through the underwater park. Fighting. Wait, it's it, and it's not nice. I don't. Going into chapter 3, perfect. I was like, I really hope we're going into chapter 3 because we're at the end of time and like, woohoo! So, anyway, I will see you guys next time, and the following day we'll find out what happens the following day. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.